Coming up on the November 17th edition of Carolina Week.
A proposal to increase faculty salaries might not be the only thing the university can do to retain faculty.
With the war in Iraq came a new type of journalism. It's the new breed of journalists doing their job.
And help for kids who sometimes have a hard time keeping up with something they really need.
All that and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Lydia Garlikoff.
And I'm Amanda Eiler. Should Carolina professors be paid more? The Board of Governors says yes. Nora Warren is in the newsroom to tell us it takes a lot more than a recommendation from the BOG. Nora?
On the heels of the Board of Governors' budget proposal, UNC faculty are wondering whether state legislators will approve the proposed salary increases. But while the state struggles to stretch its tight budget, many professors say the money isn't what's keeping them in Chapel Hill.
The thing that was an issue for me was not the salary.
For Dr. Mark Pfeiffer, money isn't everything. If it were, he might be teaching biology at the University of Georgia right now instead of at UNC Chapel Hill.
I now make quite a bit more than I ever anticipated I would ever make, and I probably make more money than I need.
For Pfeiffer, the university's support for his research is much more important. And Executive Associate Provost Steve Allred says university officials recognize this type of need.
Things like lab support or graduate student support or sabbaticals or other things that we can do to make their career here at Carolina more rewarding.
For the past few years, UNC has been under pressure to make faculty salaries more competitive with peer institutions. But Pfeiffer says Carolina's real draw lies in assets it already has.
We've got fantastic colleagues, and Chapel Hill, as you guys know, is a great place to live.
And that's music to the ears of university officials who are doubtful the state legislature will approve the entire proposed salary increase. The BOG has proposed a raise of 7.5% for each of the next 2 years. For a faculty member making $50,000, the first-year raise would be $3,750. The bump the next year would be a bit more than $4,000. But faculty chair Judith Wegner agrees there's little chance the legislature will approve the full amount. The state just took nearly $3 million back from UNC Chapel Hill because of budget shortfalls.
Nora Warren reporting from the newsroom. Thanks, Nora.
While faculty are hoping for a salary increase, students are hoping tuition won't go up next year. It seems tuition goes up every year, and 2005-2006 might not be an exception. Wednesday, the Board of Trustees met to discuss a proposed tuition increase. Provost Robert Shelton told the group faculty retention would continue to be a problem without increases in tuition.
1 out of 4 women will be assaulted during her years on a college campus. After recent reports of assaults here, officials brought an expert to campus to help women be prepared. No! Good. Excellent. The Carolina Union Activities Board sponsored a self-defense class Tuesday. The ladies learned about sexual assault facts. The class taught the ladies the first steps when approached by an attacker and how to protect themselves when being attacked. The instructor, Lieutenant Angela Carmen from UNC Chapel Hill Public Safety, says teaching these classes is critical.
That they're out in the public, then if we can do that and get the message across, if it's to one person, if it's to 100 people, we want to try to make sure that we reach as many as we can.
The class was part of Nonviolence November. This is the 2nd year of the program. In the rush of all the major stories that have played across the airwaves in the past 10 days,
you might have missed some nuance to the international news. Joining us in the studio now for analysis of some of the week's events is Carolina Week's Daniel Seiler.
Thanks, Lydia. From watching U.S. forces reclaim the rebel city, you probably know that most news reports during the campaign were filed from outside the city of Fallujah, even though it's only 60 miles away from Baghdad. That's less than the distance from here in Chapel Hill to Winston-Salem. Reporting is no longer like the 6 Days War. This time around, few news organizations opted to get close to the action, despite the military's offers to embed them. So if 38 U.S. servicemen and at least 1,000 insurgents have been killed in Fallujah, why didn't more journalists put on a flak jacket?
You can't have every reporter in the world covering every single story, and you don't necessarily get better coverage by having more reporters.
UNC Kenan professor Robert Stevenson says risk, too, is a very important factor when interest is low for stories that threaten journalists' safety. Veteran correspondent Sam Donaldson agrees.
We are not going to sell a whole boatload of international news to people who don't want to buy it.
Donaldson says the risk is too great for too little a return. That's doubly true when organizations don't see the fight as a battle, but as one move in the occupation of Iraq.
Does anyone believe the Marines are not going to succeed in Fallujah? Does anyone think that these, call them terrorists, call them anything you want, are going to beat the U.S. Armed Forces? Not for a New York minute.
As a result, very few reporters go into the city, and few reports come out. Yet Stevenson has one recent example that shows syndication isn't such a bad thing.
I was struck by a picture of a, I believe, wounded Marine, a close-up of the face from Fallujah. And as you went from paper to paper to paper, it was featured on dozens, if not 100 of the front pages of the American papers.
On the other hand, there are stories that would be missed altogether if news crews didn't go into danger. A Marine under investigation for shooting wounded unarmed insurgents in a mosque is one example. Donaldson, though, remains optimistic about the outcome.
There's an old saying, God takes care of fools, drunks, and the United States of America.
One thing everyone in the industry agrees about is the only way to get a clear picture is to get your news from more than one source. We hope you keep Carolina Week as one of those sources. Lydia?
Dan Seiler reporting from the studio.
Today, millions of college students will go through the day completely unaware of the violence occurring in Sudan. That's why students across the nation are participating in the Initiative on Sudan, a project to help stop the genocide there. Students at Duke have set up a mock refugee village on the main quad. These tents are similar to the ones almost 2 million Sudanese farmers are living in because the government has taken their land. Visitors to the village can pick up flyers with information and stickers containing this symbol, representative of the ongoing conflict. Organizers are encouraging students to contact Congress and voice their opinions.
Eventually, we hope to create a more of an activist spirit about what's going on and trying to create some sort of change outside of the small community of Duke.
Plywood, plastic, and other materials are on the site so students can build tents and get involved. Thursday night at 6, a survivor will tell his story and let you know what you can do to fight the genocide in Sudan.
From the fight against genocide to the fight against hunger, local diners are taking a stand against hunger in the Triangle area. In its 16th year, Tuesday's RSVVP Day brought many folks out to restaurants like Aladdin's on Franklin Street. Restaurants give 10% of the day's profits to help fight hunger in the Triangle area. Although some chose to eat out to aid the cause, others like Eli Covington were pleasantly surprised that their dining experience was helping others.
Yeah, it's good that my money's going to a good cause tonight. I mean, Lenore's not so great, so if they had nights like this all the time, I'd eat out even more often, you know?
The program organizers hoped to raise about $45,000, but the results weren't in as of late Wednesday afternoon.
Orange County residents outside Carrboro limits are still infuriated about a possible annexation of several neighborhoods along Rogers Road. Nearly 200 of those residents voiced their concerns to the Carrboro Board of Aldermen Tuesday night. The aldermen approved the annexation of 2 areas west of Rogers Road, now called Areas A and B, on September 14th. But residents in these neighborhoods aren't happy about the tax increases they'd see in the first 3 years of annexation.
We're paying $2,000 a year for nothing that we need or want. This makes you, if you do this, no better than gangsters, crooks, and shakedown artists.
One young girl pleaded that her family might have to move if the annexation occurs. The board will meet again on January 25th. If the annexation passes, it won't be made official for a year. Carolina basketball is back, and so are the early mornings and long lines to get tickets.
Some are the lucky ones, and some aren't. Ticket distribution at Carolina. Is there a better way?
Hello. Yes. Can I ask a few questions about the apartment on Park Street?
What was your name?
My name is Juan Hernandez.
It's been rented.
Oh, it's gone. Hello, my name is Sanjay Kumar. I am calling about the apartment on Park Street.
It's not available.
Not available? Hello, my name is Tyrone Washington. I'm calling about the apartment on Park Street.
Just been rented.
Hello, I am Chen Ling. My name is Khalid bin Ali. I'm Tuan Vo. Hello, my name is Moshe Goldberg. I use a wheelchair. It's gone. Not available. All right. Thank you. Yes, hello, my name is Graham Wellington. I'm calling about the apartment for rent on Park Street. Is that still available?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Really?
Housing discrimination is illegal. If you think you've been a victim because of your race, color, national origin, sex, religion, disability, or family status, call us. Fair housing. It's not an option. It's the law.
It's bothersome when you can't hear someone.
As Carolina Week reporter Lauren Cox tells us, a new program will help hearing impaired kids in the area worry less about losing or damaging their hearing aids.
Approximately 17 of every 1,000 American children are hearing impaired. Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools began a loaner hearing aid program this April to benefit students across the district who struggle with hearing problems. Program organizers seek to collect hearing aids from community members. Most students have their own hearing aids, but problems arise when students lose aids or need loaner aids while theirs are being repaired. An active third grader at Ephesus Elementary School, Patrick Dickerson struggles regularly to keep up with his hearing aids. Dickerson's mother, Adrienne Jones, says this program will take a heavy load off his shoulders.
If they're gone, they're gone. So, and it's just, it's really an unfair burden to put on a child where you can be 8, but just don't play exactly like a typical 8-year-old. You still have to be careful of your hearing aid.
Patrick's impairment doesn't slow him down. He attends Taekwondo 2 days a week and he's working toward his green belt. Yet sometimes being active leads to accidents.
We actually had a roller skating accident in PE like that.
Mommy.
Where the hearing aid was flapping, it fell out, and then another child rolled over the hearing aid.
Sometimes even inactivity is a problem.
When I was sleeping on the couch, when I was watching TV on Saturday morning, I lost it under the couch and I couldn't find it. Lost one of them.
Hearing aids are costly, many starting at $6,000 for one aid. Even with a grant, Jones paid 2 to 3 months' salary for each of Patrick's aids.
For each $1,700, around that range.
That costs a lot of money.
It does cost a lot of money.
Hearing is one of the most important tools for educational success, and the loaner program gives parents and their hearing-impaired children a better shot at being successful. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lauren Cox, Carolina Week.
Organizers hope to eventually have a stash of hearing aids to use when kids damage or lose theirs.
You've probably heard the saying, winners never quit and quitters never win. But Thursday, it's the quitters who have nothing to lose. The American Cancer Society is sponsoring the 28th Great American Smokeout. Posters and pamphlets are just one of many ways smokers are encouraged to quit. Studies show that people are more likely to quit smoking if they have some means of support. So Thursday, many smokers will extinguish their cigarettes for at least one day in hopes of possibly quitting forever. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's most current statistics, almost 46 million adults smoke cigarettes. Nearly 25% of all men and 20% of women share the habit. This means that 1 in every 4 Americans is a smoker.
A couple of extra hours of sleep a night could actually help you lose weight. A study released by Columbia University researchers shows that people who got less than 4 hours of sleep a night were 73% more likely to be obese than people who got a full night's rest. The risk for people who slept at least 5 hours a night dropped to 50%. The risk fell to 23% for people who slept at least 6 hours a night. According to the National Sleep Foundation, college students average 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. Researchers think the risk of obesity increases because people who sleep less eat more. Women have had a variety of methods for birth control, but there's nothing for men except condoms or vasectomies. UNC cell biologist Mike Orand has started on the path toward perfecting another method of male birth control. The process involves injecting males with the protein epin. Epin then attaches to the sperm, which causes the immune system to react by disabling the sperm with a coat of a firm jelly-like substance. So far, the injection has been successful in monkeys, but researchers are hopeful they'll have a human trial soon. Orand's findings are in the November issue of the journal Science.
Since 1973, women have had the constitutionally protected right to choose abortion in the early stages of pregnancy, and campus groups gathered Tuesday night to discuss that right. Representatives of abortion groups like NARAL and Planned Parenthood spoke to men and women in Gardner Hall about choice. The students took note of the work to support a woman's right to choose from a local to an international level. For Planned Parenthood Field Coordinator Natalie Fixmer, as an advocate for abortion rights, her work encompasses more than just the right to choose.
That this is about you, that this is about your reproductive rights. It's an assault on birth control under this administration, assault on responsible sex education, an assault on access to health care, to family planning, and to abortion services.
The meeting is just one of many gatherings for abortion rights groups on campus. The group Carolina Hope promotes abstinence education. Its president, Joseph Hoyle, says the A in the ABCs of sex education is often overlooked and underfunded.
Our goal is to promote the A of the accepted ABCs of sexual health programs throughout the country and the world as put forth by both the Bush administration and by most of the public health officials, I think, in the country. So we're promoting the A in abstinence.
Hoyle says the B in sex ed stands for Be Faithful and the C stands for condoms. Saturday will mark the second ticket distribution for men's basketball.
But after the long wait, not all students were pleased with last week's distribution. An editorial column in Monday's Daily Tar Heel called for the Carolina Athletic Association to look at how other universities distribute tickets and to use the findings to change the current system. And some students complained they didn't get tickets last week, even though they thought their bracelet numbers were close enough to the number selected, and suggested that this problem didn't happen in years past. CAA President Lindsey Strunk said nothing is different than before except the team.
I think with the hype of Carolina basketball, with as good as we're predicted to be, more people are interested in obtaining the tickets than per se 2 years ago when we didn't have to turn people away.
Strunk said because last week's distribution was for non-conference games, only about 4,000 tickets were given out, as opposed to about 6,000 distributed for ACC games. The numbers include tickets for Carolina Fever, the band, members of CAA, and the Ceiling Fan program. Meteorologist Meredith Croak joins us now.
Meredith, the weather lately has just been fantastic. We've been seeing a lot of the sun.
Well, yeah, it really has been a nice fall so far, and that warm weather brought a lot of students out to pick up their bracelets for this weekend's distribution. Will the sun keep temperatures up through the weekend, or will Old Man Winter make an early arrival? I'll let you know coming up.
Hey, I was checking you out, and I was thinking, how about you come out to my car and we can have a couple beers, fool around a little bit. You know, I could give you herpes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Mad, face the brutal truth about underage drinking.
Check it out, man.
What is that?
It looks like someone's belly. Yeah, probably lost it walking on the beach.
Man, just leave it. Let's go.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm meteorologist Meredith Croak. But first, let's take a look at your weather headlines. We do have some mild temperatures out there, but there will be some increasing clouds, but some warmer nights on tap, so it's going to warm up, not getting down to the freezing mark anymore. Let's take a look at that satellite map now. You can see clear skies over us now, but back to the west, that's where we have those clouds. That will start to move through as we head into the weekend. But for now, just great weather for this week. It's going to be a sunny week coming up. And as we go and take a look at your forecast map now, you can see we're dominated by high pressure. This is what typically gives us the very good weather. And that will continue to dominate our weather for the next couple of days. Back to the west, though, this low pressure system that's centered over Texas, that's going to start to move on through towards the weekend, and that's going to bring us our first chance of rain showers coming up Saturday evening into Sunday. So it won't be a total washout, but we will have some showers coming up. So as that moves through, that's when we start getting the showers. Let's take a look now at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast. You can see we have pretty nice Friday coming up. This is going to be the nicest day of the week, a high of 68 degrees, so very warm weather for this time of year, and that low only getting down to 50, so you can probably turn off that heat for a little while at least. And Saturday, cooling off just a bit as those clouds start to move in with that low pressure system. 65 for your high and 50 for your low. And then on Sunday, this is when the chance of some showers comes in, but that probably won't be until later on Sunday evening. And 65 degrees for the high and 51 for the low. And right now, Monday looks like it's going to be the rainiest day of the week with a high of 64 and a low of 46. Now, if you're heading out to the to the beach this weekend, we have a high of 65 on Saturday and 51 for the low on Saturday, and another 65 on Sunday. So it's going to be a pretty nice weekend at the beach. And your mountain forecast, 65 in the mountains as well. Both days, those rain showers again will move in probably a little bit earlier in the mountains on Sunday. So do watch out for that if you're heading out there. Now your fall foliage forecast, you can still catch a glimpse of some colors out there. Western North Carolina is past peak. Central North Carolina is also past peak, and the Eastern North Carolina is the only place that still has those colors with the peak conditions out there. And if you're heading to the game on Saturday, it is at Duke, Chapel Hill versus Duke. At 12 o'clock is the kickoff time, 55 degrees, cloudy skies, but there won't be any rain showers around on Saturday. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good day for the last in-season football game.
Yeah, so maybe a light jacket or something
yeah,
for the game.
Just a light jacket. It's going to be pretty warm, warm up to the 60s. So.
Sounds great. Looks like a great weekend no matter where you are in
Yep.
the state. Thanks, Meredith.
So, Ann, the weather looks like it's going to be good for the game. We don't want any distractions, right?
Most definitely not. Weather won't be a distraction, but the rivalry might be a distraction. Football, basketball, still pretty close. Duke, Carolina, we'll see. So, coming up, what's the most unbelievable sports story this year? The Dream Team didn't win gold, Shaq's in Miami, and the Red Sox won the series. No, wait, I have it. Carolina football is going to be in a bowl game. Well, maybe. The story when Carolina Week Sports returns.
Hello, my name is Estelle Ward, and I'd like to speak to someone about my daughter Ruth's financial aid. Hello, yes, I'm Ruth Ward's mom, and I was hoping the university might reconsider. She got good grades. Hello, I'm Ruth Ward's mother, and I'd like to speak to someone about my daughter's financial aid.
Sniffing things to get high can deprive your brain of the oxygen it needs to keep you alive.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. I'm the athletically challenged but verbally gifted Ann Sexton. Duke. The word just sticks in your throat, ties your stomach in knots, and can crush Carolina's chances of a bowl berth. With one chance left for the football team, it's no question that Saturday's matchup is more than just a game.
This is a huge game for us next week. It's got a lot of different implications in terms of possible winning this ball game and doing something extra special. But we got to win this ball game, and the bell's at stake. That bell was over Carolina for a long, long time. And last year in the first half, we came out and laid an egg in the first half. So I'll never forget that game. I'll never, ever forget that game for the rest of my life.
The seniors won't forget either. Pictures of the victory bell have been plastered throughout the football center and on Keenan's video board all week long to keep the team focused on the importance of Saturday's game. Women's basketball exhibition play is done following a game Tuesday at Carmichael Auditorium against Athletes in Action. Coach Sylvia Hatchell was also ready to put her athletes into action. So that's what Ivory Lotta did as she streaked to the basket for her first of 17 points. She also added 7 assists for the Heels. Lotta isn't the only one with moves. Latangela Atkinson grabs a steal, heads down court, offers the no-look, and finishes the give and go. In the second half, Camille Little got hot. 18 second-half points, including this 3, for a game high of 24. Hatchell says it all started with the team's defense.
We played better on defense, and I thought a lot of that created some offense. And then we were scoring, and they get more energy on defense, so it's like a snowball, just rolls.
For Carolina, it rolled into a 92-57 win. The regular season opener is Friday against Elon at home. Expectations are higher than David Noel's vertical as the Heels are on the verge of opening the 2004-2005 season. Jason Lucas has the story.
By Carolina standards, it looks like the Heels are back to their ways of old. With all 5 starters returning, the Heels have been ranked #1 by a few publications. With this kind of hoopla, fans are definitely pumped up about this upcoming season.
Carolina fans are so excited that they're out here in near freezing temperatures just to get tickets to the hot action in the Dean Dome.
After 2 exhibition games, one newcomer is making some noise. His name is Marvin Williams.
Oh, I'm excited about Marvin. Frankly, I don't even know why he's in college. He's really nasty. I basically think it's going to be the Williams and Williams show, Marvin and Jawad. Be good to see it.
The eager freshman Marvin and the seasoned veteran Jawad make for a nice combination.
Jawad Williams, I think he started off real strong last year, and injuries kind of killed on his confidence, but I think he's got to be good. And then Marvin Williams has a lot of expectations coming in.
As the season begins, the Heels have 2 minor setbacks: McCants' shoulder injury and Felton's 1-game suspension. Despite the early season problems, fans feel that they'll be following this team all the way to St. Louis.
Well, I'm a senior, so we're going all the way, baby.
Considering everyone returned and with a couple of the freshmen coming in, I think we have a lot of potential. Should be a good year.
If the preseason magazines are correct, the Carolina fans could be preparing to watch a special season in which the sky would be the limit for the Tar Heels. In Chapel Hill, this is Jason Lucas, Carolina Week Sports.
The Heels open the season Friday night against Santa Clara in Oakland. The men's basketball team isn't the only Tar Heel squad that will have its hands full with the Santa Clara Broncos this weekend. The women's soccer team will face number 4 Santa Clara in a third-round matchup at home this Saturday at 2 o'clock. This will mark the 4th straight year that the Broncos and Heels will meet. Last year, Carolina beat the Broncos 3-0 to advance to the national championship. If you plan on going to the game, don't forget to bring your wallet. Student tickets cost $3. Well, ladies, did you get a chance to look at the Sports Illustrated cover? Rashad's on it.
I did see it. Good things for the Tar Heels.
That's right. Looks good. Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
Ann.
Excuse me.
Calling all frat boys, this next story is for you.
When this construction is finished on Franklin Street, those of you who won't wear anything but polo will be in luck.
Okay, here's a little pop quiz for you. Name any Oscar winner. Name one character from a Hollywood film. Easy, right? Oh, one more question. Name one character your kid learned about in English class.
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Polo Ralph Lauren's newest clothing line is galloping into Chapel Hill.
Construction is underway here on Franklin Street for Polo's new Rugby store. The Rugby line is currently carried in only one other store nationwide and is aimed at 18 to 25-year-olds. New drywall has been installed in the old location of Salon 135, and according to construction workers, a construction barrier with the Rugby logo will be up by sometime next week.
I may not be a frat boy, but I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Me too. It's looking good for Franklin Street.
Yes. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.